Hello everybody and welcome. I hope you're well. Well, today we're going to talk about polycystic ovaries. We're going to talk about this subject that affects many women around the world, leaving many of them with fertility problems. Today we're going to talk about the deep hidden emotions behind a woman with polycystic ovaries. We're going to talk about those deep unconscious emotions behind somebody with polycystic ovaries. Today we're in 2021, but although we are in 2021, in many ways as a society, we live in many archaic ways, where a woman is expected to born, grow, get married, have children, have grandkids. That's what's expected. Just like a man should be the provider of the family. That is just the archaic way, and we carry many of those. But what happens is that sometimes we find those women that want to go against this tradition, this archaic way, where she doesn't want to have kids, where she just wants to follow a profession, a career. And this is sometimes when polycystic ovaries appear. Because behind a woman with polycystic ovaries is always a deep, deep fear of getting pregnant, of have a child. But also the other deep-rooted problem is it's a lot of history behind these women of abortions in her or in her family, or miscarriages, or death in childbirth. It could be from the mom, could be from the baby. It also is a lot of stories about women that gave up those children and didn't raise them. Stories like that. So those are those deep problems behind polycystic ovaries. So this subject, polycystic ovaries and infertility, are the main problems. They show us that how our ancestor lines are so important, and how important it is for us to know where we come from. Who is my family? Show me my family tree. Look at your family tree, because it's mostly important to know where you come from, so you know why you have sometimes the issues that you have. In one of my last videos, if there is a symptom, there is a story, I explain exactly how this works. It's for us very easy sometimes to believe that because we share DNA with your family, you will carry maybe the brown eyes, and you will have maybe a mole here just like your father did, because that's in your DNA. We share that, and that we believe it. It's been proven, right? But it's hard for many people to believe that because I have polycystic ovaries, let's say this is the case, that we are carrying, unfortunately, memories, ancestral memories of those that we maybe never even met. And that's the reason why we have polycystic ovaries, or maybe we have diabetes, or any of that. But somehow it's easy to believe that because we carry DNA, that's why we carry that. But this also applies for our ancestor line, for our transgenerational story. And when we look in your family tree, you will find that grandmother that maybe gave up her children. She gave up 3 children, and then the 4th one, she kept that. Or maybe she had an abortion, or maybe she died at childbirth, or maybe she had a baby, but the baby died just days after was born. Those stories are the ones that you are being carrying with you unconsciously, and that's why today you have this maybe deep fear of having children, getting pregnant, because our unconscious says, don't repeat what already happened in this family. So don't get pregnant. And you do it unconsciously. And you may say, no, but hold on. I actually want to have children, but I do have polycystic ovaries. Yeah, you do consciously want to have children, but unconsciously, in the back of your mind, even if you know the stories or if you don't know the stories, is this thing behind you that says, don't have children. You're gonna repeat that story that already happened, and it was very, very painful for those that went through that in your family. So that's the reason why the cyst will appear in the ovaries. Now, it's also stories from you. You may be the one that had abortions or that you had a miscarriage, and after that you had those abortions or those miscarriages, now you have polycystic ovaries. And of course, you do want to have children. Now, it's very important when somebody has abortions or miscarriage to give a place in the family to that baby that couldn't make it, to give a name to that baby, to give that place in the family. Because I have explained it very well in one of my videos, which I'm gonna leave it here, those that born after a death in the family, and that will count as an abortion or miscarriage also. The next baby will come carrying that place in the family, a dead person in the family. Now, this we do it unconsciously because you had an abortion, and normally we tend not to give a name to that baby or give the place in that family. So let's say your first pregnancy was an abortion or a miscarriage, and you don't give a name to the baby, you don't give a place in your family, you talk about it maybe, and then you get pregnant again. Now you do have a baby. So first one was an abortion, second one was the baby that's born, has a name, has a place in your family. But what happens is you give the wrong place to that baby, because everybody knows that that supposedly is the first one, when actually it's the second one, because the first one, unfortunately, is dead. So now you're giving your first child the place of a dead baby. So it's important to know this is my firstborn, but that doesn't mean that's my first baby. And America does that so well, because they make it clear when you go to the medical clinic, they ask you how many pregnancies, how many born baby, so you can have that clear sense and you give space to that baby. Otherwise, that baby has always gonna be carrying the wrong place in the family. Now, our ancestor family line and the stories that your mom lived, your grandmother, your great-grandmother lived, those are very important, and we are carrying those very much so. And the best way to put it is just to put a cyst in those ovaries so we don't have children, so we don't repeat the story of the ones that went before me. In one of my last videos about fibroids, uterine fibroids, I explained this story of a consultant that I had, where she had cysts and fibroids in her uterus, and they disappeared. The doctor couldn't even explain how they disappeared. They disappeared because she found the emotion that was causing it, and she let go of that emotions. So cysts can disappear. Yes, hard to believe, hard to explain sometimes for doctors, but they can do it. But we need to find what has caused them. So for this, that's why I always say it's so important for people to invest in a session to go and analyze your family tree and see where that comes from and how we can let that go. So if this is your story, I will suggest you invest in yourself and you invest in a session and you go deep on those emotions so you can let go of those cysts, and you can let go of that history behind you. Now, just to end this video, I would like to say, it's not right or wrong to have or to not have children. But it's important for people to know what is it that make you think that way. If you don't want to have children, if you refuse to have children, it's because it's a story behind you. That unconsciously or consciously, it's making you do this. And that's okay. Now, if you have the story, if your story is, I don't want to have children, and you do have polycystic ovaries, which they can be very, very painful, I suggest you just understand and accept that that's your story. And that's the story of your ancestor and not yours. And it's okay. You can be okay not having children, but accepting that you don't want to have children because of the story you have behind you. I hope this video has helped you, and if you have any questions, like I always say, please leave it down below. Take care, until next video. Bye bye.